Document I-9s can cost businesses hundreds of thousands of dollars. As a part of the onboarding process, the number one most important thing is the document I-9. The document I-9 is a document that is required to be filled out by every employee that is provided by the federal government that verifies an employee is able to work legally in the United States. It's important that this is filled out correctly and you have one on file for every active employee. Nowadays, a lot of businesses keep it online in some sort of HRIS system, but a lot of businesses are still doing them on paper. If you're doing it on paper, please go online, check to make sure you're filling it out correctly, you have no abbreviations, any major issues with your I-9 so that you can make sure that you're compliant. With this document I-9, you are required to keep any terminated employees' I-9s for a minimum of 3 years. So you should have all actives and any terminated employees that have been terminated in the last 3 years. Document I-9s can cost businesses hundreds of thousands of dollars. Every document I-9 that needs to be filled out has 25-ish places that you can make a mistake on, and each mistake can be worth up to $1,000 per mistake. So if you do 25 mistakes times 1,000, that means each document is worth $25,000. If you have 10 employees, that's $250,000 in risk that you may be assuming if your I-9s are incorrect or if you don't have them at all. It's extremely important that you take the proper steps to make sure they're correct and you audit them annually so that everything continues to be correct with all of your terminateds, with all of your actives, and everyone understands what the importance is of this I-9. With this document I-9, there are 3 types of documents that can be brought in to verify a person's employment. There are what are called a List A document, a List B document, and a List C document. When an employee is bringing in documents, they can either bring in one item from List A, which is something like a passport or a permanent resident card, or they need to bring in one document from List B and one document from List C. So a List B document is some sort of photo ID, something like a driver's license or a state identification card. An item from List C is a non-photo identificator, so something like a birth certificate or a social security card works as a List C. And again, they need to bring in either one List A document or something from List B and List C. It is extremely important that in Section 2 of the I-9, all of the proper information is filled out on this I-9 to make sure it's correct with the documents the employee brings in. I want to tell a quick story about the importance of an I-9. A few years back, we were working with a business that was responsible for a total of 19 I-9s. This was a small family-owned and operated business that had a handful of active employees, but had some terminated employees over the course of time that they were still responsible for having the I-9s and having them correct. The Department of Labor came in and audited them. They went through every single I-9 that they had, made checks where all of the mistakes were made, and when it was all said and done, the business was fined just over $150,000 for a total of 19 I-9s. It's extremely important that you have them all done, correct, and stored properly so that if you are audited by the Department of Labor, they can come in, they look at them, everything is good, and they will go away. If you like this information and the content that we are providing, please like and subscribe to this channel. If you would like more information about us, please find us online at www.odshr.com.